I was on Instagram the other day and I made a video. I don't know when the last time I twerked, and I was joking, but I was
saw
serious.
that.
I actually don't know the last time that I.
You have a good ass, though. You should twerk soon. Welcome back to Too Personal. I'm Joy Taylor, and today we have my friend Sahar. She is in the building. So excited. An amazing
excited.
individual, incredible person, very brilliant. She's a family attorney. She is a force on social media. She's a founder. She's a mama.
Mamacita.
A mamacita. She's a wife and just an all-around incredible person, multi-hyphenate, which we'll talk about.
We'll talk about. I have a lot of thoughts.
Yes. Welcome, Sahar, to Too Personal.
Thank you. I'm such a fan of yours. Before I even became your friend, I've always been a fan of you. I think you're brilliant and intelligent, and I don't feel that way about a lot of people.
I know you don't.
I really don't. So
Well,
I'm excited to be here.
I feel the same way. Make sure you follow Sahar Khorram on social media at, I'll spell it, SAHARKHORRAMM.
I'm Taylor now, though.
Yeah.
Legal.
Are you going to change it?
I don't know. I think I got my degrees with that last name. It feels weird. I'm going to just hand it to a man. You know?
Yeah, when I got married, I changed my last name, but not
did?
publicly. Then I changed
Okay.
it back.
I think I've changed it privately, but not publicly.
Yeah, but a lot of people do that though.
Yeah,
And also you have a daughter,
I do.
and for family purposes.
Yeah. The thing with Persian culture is that women don't change their last name.
Oh.
It's actually prohibited in Islam because it's the woman loses her way of tracing back her lineage.
Okay.
It kind of gets absorbed into the man, and so you don't really know where you came from. So my dad was pretty upset when I did it.
Well, I did not know that. What do you know? Traditionally, you don't have to change your last name, guys.
No,
Who knew? I'm being sarcastic, but that's a very interesting,
crazy,
very
right?
interesting non-erasure. Well, I think this is not where I was going to start, but now here we are. I think there are a lot of misconceptions about Islam.
Yeah, so many.
Because there, like any religion, as I've discussed at length, there are people who use it to oppress people.
Of course.
And there are elements of it that can be weaponized in horrific ways. And the
1000%.
brand of Islam is obviously been publicly synonymous with those people who don't have experiences with it, with pure
Oppression.
misogyny, oppression.
I always say it's crazy how bad our PR is, given how many Muslims there are. You know, if we rebranded, we could really take over.
The PR is bad.
The PR is really bad. I understand why.
In defense of Islam, the PR is really bad for quite a few of the major religions right now.
The PR is really bad for Islam, and I don't think we have like the pretty aspects of Islam all around to help us. Like Catholicism, you go to the Vatican, right? It's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's the cross. There's just a lot of things that make you want to go.
But mosques are stunning.
Mosques are stunning if you don't hate mosques.
But they're stunning though. Like I have deep issues with with all of these institutions.
Yeah.
But well, also it's not fair. We travel. Girl,
We travel.
We go places.
Yeah, you've probably gone to Istanbul and said, "Oh my God, this is so beautiful."
I've been to Istanbul.
Exactly.
I've been to Casablanca. The mosque in Casablanca is the most beautiful
when you start
building I've ever been in.
Muslim countries, obviously you start to see what Islam really is.
Mhm.
And you know, for me, it's with everything that's been going on between Iran and the regime. Obviously, I've been having a very tough time with it as well. I don't agree with the way that Islam is even being practiced in Muslim countries, right? So I don't think the officials or the people in charge are showing the religion the way that it's supposed to be. But when you get to the root of it and the way that it works for me, it hasn't been oppressive. I remember when I was dating, I would go on dates with guys and I'd say, "I'm telling you right now, I'm Muslim. This, and this is not going to fly." And it's so crazy because they would respect that. And then my other girlfriends who would go and say the same thing on a date would get called gold diggers and all these other names. So I started telling them, "Girl, you better tell them you're Muslim." You better tell them, say you just grew up with Muslim values.
Then there's just no way around it.
Yeah, because you can't insult someone's religion.
Yeah.
You know?
Were they heavily religious men?
Not at all. I mean, I have converted a few. So, but they weren't religious at all. But you know, I told everybody from the jump that whoever I was going to marry would have to, at least on paper, become Muslim. I run a Muslim household.
Right.
So there are certain things, you know, my money is my money, your money is my money. That was very important to me from the jump. but also the way that a woman is when she gives birth. You can technically charge your husband for breastfeeding your child. That's not that's not something that people know, you know? There's a lot of rights that you have, at least financially.
Girl, I have a friend who's breastfeeding right now. She would love to hear that. She's not gonna convert to
To
Islam,
Islam.
but
It's okay, girl. You could
she's
take one of our values.
she's going through it. But, and
No,
I told her too. I was like, "You are not. I know you. You are not going to like this breastfeeding thing."
no, it
I
was
have
it was
I
it
have
was not it.
breastfed 0 children in my life, and I already know.
Everyone kept telling me it was going to be this amazing bonding moment, and I just never felt that way. I did it for 4 or 5 weeks, and I just don't need to feel needed in order to feel like a good mom. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So much of mommyhood can dive into narcissism, and there's not enough conversations around that. Why do you need your child to need you so bad? That's
Well, I mean, let's get into it. We get into everything over here,
yeah.
so
Let's do
I'm
it.
not really like we'll get to all my questions later, but um, yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't have children, and I openly don't want children, but
Yeah.
I am a fabulous aunt to many children, and
It's always the people who would be great moms who don't want to be moms. The people who are terrible, stop reproducing.
stop making babies. Um, but yeah, I think there is, and I have friends who are dealing with this as well,
Yeah.
who are moms, who are new moms or newer moms, and there's an identity thing that
Yeah.
happens obviously when you become a mother, that your life is different.
Yeah.
The things that are required of you are different. But one thing I've always thought deeply about in if I was to become a mom, which obviously I'm not, but my identity is so important to me,
Yeah.
and my autonomy is so important to me, and remaining a person
Mm-hmm.
after you have a child
Mhm.
is a very difficult thing for people for women
For women, yeah. Let's get
for
very clear.
women
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
And it's why I am actually try to be very intentional with my friends who are new moms, to talk to them about them and not just about their children.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely going through an identity crisis. My postpartum has looked a lot different than other people's because physically I did all of the things. You know, I started working out as soon as I gave birth. I mean, I was working out before, but I never stopped doing the things that made me me. But the problem is there's a whole new set of responsibilities that you have that you can't brute force your way out of. It doesn't matter how much I go out to dinner or get my hair done or work out or do hang out with my friends or talk about other things. There's now 50% of my brain that's constantly thinking, is Noe okay? Has Noe slept? Is she crying? Is she, whatever it is that you can't get rid of. And I'm happy with that responsibility because, as you know, I went through a fertility journey. It was really tough to get Noe, but I could see, even in my position, there are 10 to 20% of times where I just wish I could turn off that responsibility the same way that I think my husband can turn it off because he knows that I have it,
Hmm.
and he has other responsibilities that I don't think about, right? So each person is playing their role in my household, but there are times that I wish I just didn't. I was careless. And now I think, what was I thinking about when I was so like I was so careless? What was I doing with my life?
Napping
Did I
and
and I had
having
so
that
much
extra
time?
martini,
Yeah.
and
Just
yeah.
even drinking. I was on Instagram the other day and I made a video. I don't know when the last time I twerked, and I was joking, but I
I
was
saw
serious.
that.
I actually don't know the last time that
You have a good ass though. You should twerk soon.
and that's what I'm saying.
But
I
it
have
needs
a
to be
great
it
ass.
needs to
I
be
can throw it
a twerk
back.
appropriate
Yeah, like what? I'm not gonna
time.
twerk with a child. I
Well,
want to.
you go places where the children aren't.
Yes, that's what I mean. I have to go somewhere. I need to be 3 spicy margaritas in, and I have to feel really comfortable about the fact that I'm 3 spicy margaritas in because I have to be like, my daughter is taken care of regardless.
Yeah.
And then I just want to throw it in a circle.
Yeah. Well, if it makes you feel better, I don't remember the last time I twerked either.
See,
So
you're missing out on opportunities right now.
nobody
You're not
wants to see me
using.
twerk. I don't have your ass. As I get told every single week. I have thousands of people letting me know I don't have ass.
It's okay, girl. You got
I have
everything
more
else.
than enough.
You have everything
I've
else.
got more than enough. I have many blessings. I'm not
Period.
complaining. No one complains about my ass either. They're very happy to touch it.
But I do agree with the identity crisis.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm definitely going through, even though I don't look like the person who's going through the quintessential identity crisis.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, motherhood is so complicated, and the
Yeah.
way that it's represented to people, I think, is just insane. Like,
Yeah.
there's these expectations on women when they become mothers that are horrifying to me. Like the idea that everyone is supposed to snap back automatically. You've no idea
No,
what
you
people
don't.
went through to get this child here. Some
Yeah.
people have had to be, sorry, let me be very specific. Some women have had to
Yeah.
be chopped up
Yeah.
to get a baby here. Like a
I
C-section
It's
has almost been branded as
crazy.
like a cosmetic surgery.
Which
Like
is so
they
wild.
take
Do you know how
your
many
organs out.
layers? Do
Like
you know how
they
many
cut.
layers they cut open to get
Yes.
that baby?
Yeah. And
I
then they
will.
have to sew you back together perfectly,
Hmm.
or you will never be able to get abs again because your muscles literally do not line up.
Yeah.
Like, forget the scar. It's just your body is actually never even going to remotely look like it did
No.
before, or have the opportunity to even shape,
Yeah.
because the doctor didn't do it right. There's so many
And then
different
there's so much that goes
complications.
into
It's okay.
And then there's so much that goes into who your doctor is, if you are able to advocate yourself, which is so much tied to socioeconomic status and
And laws
race and
now.
laws and all of that. I was in labor for 36 hours, right? It was terrible. I pushed for 3 hours. I had an amazing doctor, and I had my mom's a nurse, I'm a lawyer. You know, I had the people around who kind of knew what was going on, and I still think I missed things. So I can't even imagine what it would be for someone who doesn't have the support system that I had or the knowledge. It's not easy. And then for me, part of the identity crisis is none of my friends have kids. Like I have two friends who have kids.
Hmm.
One lives in Virginia and the other one is also, she's on the East Coast. I feel like I'm the big sister, the oldest child who's going through all of it alone. And they're sweet and they're trying to be there for me, but I do sometimes wish I had someone who was going through it at the same time so I could ask questions and I can lean in. And I've been trying to lean into more mommy groups with
Girl. Well, I've been around a lot of kids.
right, right.
I know things. No, I get it. I saw you post and talk about that. And I felt bad. I was like, damn, I cannot help in
Yeah,
this regard. But it's, that's also just a reflection of like people aren't having kids.
they're
There
not
was a time when we would all plan this and do it at the same time together.
like a
And
pregnancy pact.
right. And we have created this, well, not we, because we didn't design the patriarchy, but
Right.
this colonized idea of the nuclear family is not how human beings were supposed to live,
No,
raise children,
no.
have community. Like that has been so ingrained in our brains that we don't need to talk to our neighbors, and this is our space, and this
Yeah.
person can't come over, and we
It's
don't have a
very
relationship with this person.
individualistic.
It's individualistic, and it's marketed as family,
Mhm.
but it's actually not. You
No.
should have a community of women
Yeah.
who have all been through, elders,
Yeah.
even younger people your age who have all been through this, someone you could just leave your child with and go do what you need to
And feel
do and feel
comfortable.
completely safe. And it's gotten progressively worse, because even the way that I grew up, like not every neighbor, obviously, there's leaving your kids with anybody, but
randoms,
like
yeah.
all of the close neighbors in my neighborhood, like I could go to their parents if I needed something. My parents would leave me there, or leave us at home, knowing that if something happened to us, we could go to our neighbors
Yeah.
and they would help us. Like there was a community of
Yeah.
people around.
And the word family used to be synonymous with community.
Yeah.
And now they're completely separate. I remember I recently moved, so I went to, I don't know, CB2, wherever, to go buy some glasses. And I turned to my sister and I said, isn't it crazy that they sell sets of 2 or 4? Like, why are the family structures so small? What if I have a lot of people who want to come over? We don't realize how much the system has changed to make that nuclear family so small
yeah.
that it's reflected in even the way that products are sold. A set of 2, only 2 glasses, a set of 4. And then if you're going crazy, it's 6 or 8, right? That's when you got a big family. But back in the day, you would have everyone and their mom come over. And that's what felt joyful. That's kind of what I'm trying to bring back, at least in my household. But yeah, I mean, my friends don't want to have kids. It's expensive. I get it. What are you going to do? Bring them into an environment that you can't give them the best?
Well, it's expensive, and there's men involved.
Exactly. And there's men involved.
There's men involved.
And my single friends are having a tough time. And I would tell them, let's just go out and see. And it's so bad. I think in general, to be with a man is to have to tolerate some type of disrespect because you're taking part in the patriarchy, right?
It feels very Republican.
It just feels so
It
wrong.
feels so
You know what
Republican.
I mean? It's like, should we all be lesbians? No, but I think it's hard in general. Everyone who's in a relationship kind of goes to the bullshit store and tolerates their bullshit.
Mhm.
And your bullshit might be someone leaves a sock around. That's
Yeah.
the bullshit you're willing to tolerate. Someone else is something else. But the bullshit right now is so bad that I understand why they're single.
Yeah, and I want to be clear. Like, I have amazing men in my life, and
Yeah,
and
of
you do
course.
too. We
Yeah.
have mutual friends that are incredible people.
They're all taken.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then we haven't dated the ones that are haven't
No,
been
no.
taken, so we
No,
can't
we don't
confirm
know.
what their bullshit
Yeah, we
is.
don't know.
That we know we're good friends with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's no secret that it's tough out here for people who are single and who are looking to. I have friends who are looking to get married and have kids and are really struggling with it. But I think in general, there's just a lack of transparency
Yeah.
in what it is people's goals are.
Yeah.
And a big part of what men are adjusting to, which is why they're trying to not have to adjust to it
Yeah.
and roll back all these rights and abilities so women have to have men again,
Yeah.
is that they haven't been, first of all, they haven't been raised by women who had these experiences, and
Yeah.
they weren't raised by those women for us.
Yeah.
They were raised for women that are like their mothers.
Back in the day.
And those women somewhere exist, but mostly don't. And certainly the the sensitivities and stuff are different.
And also, if you look at just the way that women are outperforming men right now from an education, financial, job perspective.
Well, that's because we had to.
That's what I mean.
And have to. We
don't-
have to
I
be
don't-
better than
I-
them.
And I don't think women woke up one morning and said, I want to outperform men, right? We just were ambitious and we put our head down and we did what we had to do. And that has made dating a little bit tougher. And I've seen it even when I've talked to certain couples when it comes to prenups or divorces. There's a lot of women now who actually want to have prenups because they're the ones who are the breadwinner or they have something of theirs that they want to protect. Whereas back in the day, it was a man, right? We didn't even have rights to open up our own bank account or
Right.
own real estate. So
Not that long ago. In
it's
the 70s.
shifted. Yeah. There's women alive today who
Many.
remember that time and didn't have rights then.
Okay, so what is your opinion of prenups, or how would you actually pitch a prenup to someone?
The way that I would pitch it is when you get married, there's a contract that's assigned to you by the state. That contract can benefit you or it can actually work to your detriment. You have the option of putting in whatever you and your partner agree to in there and personalize it for yourself. It's kind of like, do you want to take the car that the dealer gives you or do you want to soup it up and add all of your things? You can do either or. I don't really know why anyone would take what the state gives you. It's not always going to be beneficial.
I've been married and I signed the state contract,
Yeah.
and I did not have a bad divorce,
Yeah.
but the idea that anyone,
Yeah.
if you have nothing or you have a lot,
Mm.
would get married without a prenup is, I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand what I see a lot of people talk about, I would never sign a prenup. It's not romantic. Like, huh?
That's just crazy.
It's a contract. If I
Yeah.
give you a contract, we're going into business together.
Yeah.
And I give you a contract that I got off LegalZoom
Yeah.
and gave it to you, and I just expected you to sign the contract. You don't have one note. You have no
That's
redlining.
crazy. You have nothing to say to
Not
it.
a single thing.
I think there's a lot of people who don't want to sign a prenup, validly so, because the opposing party wants to take everything from them. So I understand that perspective. It's really hard, and this is the nuance that gets left out often. Your prenup is only going to be as good as what the other person is willing to give you. It's a negotiation, right? So I put certain things in my prenup that someone else might not be able to get away with because their partner is not granting it to them.
Right.
The women that are unwilling to sign prenups some of them is because the person is coming to them and saying, you're going to be in this marriage, and if you walk away, you get nothing. I completely understand in that situation. You know, when I was at Columbia getting an LLM, I wrote a paper about how choice is a fallacy. There is no real choice for women, and we can talk about that another day. But there are a lot of situations that I also want to highlight where a woman has been dating someone for 4 or 5 years and the partner comes to them and says, I want you to sign a prenup and you're not getting anything. In that case, you don't really have that many options.
Yeah, you do.
You can walk away.
That's a choice.
1000%. But I'm saying if you want to be in that relationship, you don't have that many options.
Well, yeah, but that's then that is your choice. Though.
Yes,
that is
of course.
fundamentally your choice.
Yeah, it is.
And then you're choosing a person that
Yeah,
is willing to
that
put
is
that on the
willing to do
table
that.
for you.
1000%.
And that is also something that you should consider.
Yeah.
In that situation,
why-
I look at marriage really so much. I get scolded for this all the time. I don't care. Marriage is a business,
of course it is,
arrangement.
Yeah.
Yes, you do have sex with your partner.
Yeah,
yes, you have
partnership.
kids, but it is a partnership.
Yeah.
That's why people hate the word partner because they're like, what do you mean? Like a woman?
Yeah.
No, you're a partner. Like that
Yeah.
person is your partner. You buy property together. You build businesses together.
You raise children
you raise
together.
Children. You make medical
humans.
decisions. You decide what to do with your parents when they age.
Yeah.
Like you buy cars together. How you pay your bills. What kind of color you paint your house. Like everything is a decision that you have to do together in some way or another. Even if your partner's like, I don't care about what color you paint the house, that's still a decision that is made.
Yeah, it's still a conversation that you're having.
Right.
And I also feel like this is why it's so important to talk about these things early on in your dating so that you don't spend 4 or 5 years with someone and then they bring it up out of nowhere. You know, when you go to therapy, they tell you there's like 4 or 5 categories that can result in divorce, and money is obviously one of them. Having conversations about finances is so important early on, not just prenups, but how much debt are you in? You do not want the first time that you are going into the marriage or going into a prenup conversation to be the first time that either party knows about each other's debt or income. Like, I just don't understand, how are you feeling comfortable laying down with somebody, giving them your body, but you don't know how much debt they're in? Boy.
Well,
No, you gotta tell me how much debt you're in before you get this body.
You've given up that ass without knowing how much debt they're in.
Okay, yeah, but I was like 17. I was like 17.
Well, I didn't have debt then.
Yeah, I didn't have debt then. No,
I understand what you're saying.
I'm
like,
saying on a more serious level.
No, I completely agree. And when I was younger, and even when I was, in these very serious situations, I have a lot of, anxiety about money just from growing up without money. So it can feel very invasive to talk to people about that. But if you are going to build a future with someone, it is the same as a business. If we go into a business together and I have defaulted on loans and I have liens on properties and I, have this much debt, and so I'm going to want to get a return right away and all these things, and we go into business and don't talk about that, that's a bad business arrangement.
Yeah, it's a bad business
So I just
deal.
think that the branding of prenups is just very...
There's just a lot of taboo also around anything money related, right?
Yeah.
This country was, I wanted to say invaded, reformed by people who...
It was invaded.
Right.
It was colonized.
By people who didn't necessarily, they wanted to get away from talking about money, and they were the humble folk, right? So there's this culture of you talking about money is just a faux pas. It's not, especially a woman doing it. You're not allowed to talk about those things, or else you're new money, or you didn't grow up correctly, or whatever.
But the crazy thing is, those people that have money, they are talking about money.
1000%.
They want to know how much money you got. Are you here for money? Are you bringing money to the table?
They talk about money the most.
Do you know how this money works?
Yeah, they just don't like the way that we're talking about it.
Yeah.
But they're talking about it every day in their businesses and in their investments.
But when they get married, they are talking about it. Like
1000%.
that's why that mama is like,
Yeah.
she ain't the one.
All their stuff is in trusts and wills and, different formats to make sure that nobody goes and messes up the entire family funds.
Structure.
There's all of that exists. But listen, I get you not wanting to get a prenup early on. I've been, I guess with the time that I got married, I've been engaged 4 times. I was just like, I was a lover of becoming a wife. I grew up in a culture and in a family where that was the pinnacle of success. So everything I did in my life was in order to make me a more
desirable
wife, right? So go get the degrees and go do this and do that, and just so that the best of the best will then want to marry you.
Right.
Because people do want to marry in their own proximity. But at the time, when I was younger, when I got married the first time, I didn't sign a prenup. But I mean, that relationship was just all of it problematic.
It was different.
Yeah, it was different times.
Yeah, I think I you talked about the prenup with Cammy, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
yeah. Yeah, I think I've been familiar with it and just the stigma around it for so long, and then now having been married and just, obviously most of our friends are married or getting married, and
Yeah.
we just have more information now
Yeah.
that and I see obviously social media is a wormhole of nonsense, but just the people who are like, if she won't sign a prenup, da da da, like
Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to?
who for what?
I know. And it's always the people who have two bricks and
Nothing.
some hay. Like, ain't nobody want your bricks or
And then
hay.
they can't make another brick because they got to
Yeah,
save that hay.
like,
No, like it's and listen, you should want her to sign a prenup.
yeah.
It doesn't mean. Well, I also think the other part of the prenup conversation is that people feel like you're preparing for it to end.
I think but then why do you have insurance? Why do you have insurance when you go to the doctor? Are you preparing to die? You just know that it's a possibility, right?
Right.
Why are you wearing a seatbelt? Are you prepared to get into a car accident? Why are you wearing sunscreen? Are you going to get skin cancer? You should just not do anything. But you can't engage with. I do think that prenups are for sophisticated parties, and it's okay for us to acknowledge that not everybody is a sophisticated party and just move on. Some people,
We don't need to help the dum dums.
divorce court needs to exist for some people, right? Or what are they going to go out of business? It needs to exist. Divorce attorneys need to exist in order to make money off of these people. I don't even engage. Have a prenup or don't. I know that I do. When I talked to Cammie about it and we were talking about the prenup, I sent her mine. I have nothing, that's a homegirl. I'm obviously not going to
Right.
publicly share it, but that's the whole part of having friends who are going through important things and then sharing that knowledge. You might not have an idea of the possibility of what you could even ask for until you like look at mine or look at someone else's.
Yeah, but
That's
also like you're not asking for it.
no, I'm
Like
demanding it.
you're demand no, but it's like these are the things that you want. This is a
Yeah,
partnership, and as long as it's reasonable,
yeah.
then that's what it should be. That's what a real negotiation. Everyone is not going to get what they want.
No, I
You
think you
both should
learn
you both should feel like you got some
some
things
things
and
and
you lost
lost
some
some things.
things.
Yeah, I mean, I said this, Cammy. I went in there and I said I want your company, and Eric was like, "What?" I
I
was like,
love
I was
Sahar.
like, 50% of that company is mine. He's like, no, girl, you're not getting
Eric was
50%. I
like,
said,
get the fuck
okay.
out of
I
here.
said, what about like a vesting schedule or something? But you got to go in and demand. You get to know a lot about the person that you're with when you negotiate with them as well.
Yeah. Yeah, which is good to know before
You go into
you get
partnership.
into partnership.
Yeah,
So I really wanted to talk to you about surrogacy.
let's do it.
You have a beautiful, the most beautiful little girl
Thank you.
in the world, my little niece Noe.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated with surrogacy. I know a few people that have done it, but I haven't really talked to them about their experience or the journey. So what made you want to get a surrogate?
So I very early on in my journey in my trying to have kids, I had two ectopic pregnancies back to back. That's when the child forms in your fallopian tube and out of your uterus. The second one resulted in my fallopian tube bursting, and I was told that my chances of naturally getting pregnant would go down to 2%. That's when I did IVF with Eric. We created our embryos. I did an embryo transfer. It failed. All in all, I've had a total of 8, 9, both chemical pregnancies and miscarriages before having Noe. When I was pregnant with Noe, the anxiety that I had that I was going to lose her was crippling. I'm saying every time I would go to the bathroom when I would wipe, I would expect for there to be blood. There was just this feeling that I am not going to ever be able to become a mother, so much so that I took a break from practicing because so much of my job was emotional based and
Mhm.
I just couldn't bring that over. So when it came time to having a bigger family, and this is a conversation that, again, have it early on, Eric and I had before we were married, he said he wanted 5 or 6 kids. I said, what? I don't know if I could do 5 or 6 kids. Also, you're putting your body through a lot.
Yeah.
And so that's the first time that I started thinking about surrogacy. Is that an option? My best friend is one of the top surrogacy attorneys in LA. So the entire world isn't as new to me as it is for other people. Surrogacy can be a field where there's a lot of unethical things that are happening. That's why it's really important that you have good lawyers, you find a good surrogate, you go with a good agency. And that's kind of what we did. We went with an agency that was able to start sending us profiles of people every week. And we found someone that we loved. My surrogate has 3 kids of her own. She's married. She lives in Atlanta. She generally has really easy pregnancies. I spent a lot of time talking to her, making sure that she was in a good place to do this. A lot of comments I get are people saying, well, yeah, they have to. You're exploiting the poor. My surrogate's not poor. I don't know where this is coming from. She's obviously not a millionaire, but she's very much so financially stable and okay. You have to be, and that's what a good agency is going to do. They're going to find people who are not doing this because of economic reasons. They want to give this gift to other families. They have easy pregnancies, and she's having every time I talk to her, she's like, I'm having a great time. So I don't know what to tell you. Some people really do
No,
love being
some people
pregnant,
love
dude.
being pregnant, and
And she
they
looks good.
yeah, and they carry it well, and they're just yeah, they just have a lot of kids.
Yeah.
My well, I wouldn't say they have the easiest pregnancies, but my mother had 5 children. My older sister has 5 kids.
Yeah.
Um, and they've had miscarriages as well, but they are, you know, they've had a gang of kids.
Yeah.
My grandmother had like 9 or 10. She stayed pregnant.
Period.
Um, did you and Eric just like did he want to use a surrogate?
Yeah.
Like he was comfortable with
He was
that?
very comfortable with it. There are a couple of his mentors whose wives did surrogacy or whose families did surrogacy. And so it wasn't a new concept for him. It was something that he had thought about and he was interested in. It was just a matter of finding someone that would fit our life and who understood what we were trying to do. But it wasn't, I would say it was more of a new thing for me. And for him, it was more resolved. He knew that if some men really care about whether or not you carry the child,
Yeah.
I am not with someone who's like that.
Well, that's why I asked because I have had this conversation with quite a few men
Yeah.
because I have no intention on ever being pregnant.
Right.
And I've but also I don't want kids, but like
Yes.
the that conversation has been like, well, do you even like what about a surrogate?
right.
And they're like, no, you have to be pregnant. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
No. Yeah.
You're not listening
it was
to me.
already no, but it's
No,
extra
it's
no
extra
now.
no. Like, why do I have to be? Because for them, and I don't think that all men are like this,
No.
but I do think for some of these men that I am referring to, they like the idea of Joy Taylor
Of
being
course.
pregnant.
They want to look at you and say, I impregnated
Correct.
her. Right. There's a
There's a power dynamic
There's
to
a
that.
power
And
dynamic
an
to
ego,
it.
an
And
ego
then
dynamic
you
to that.
walk around with your belly and they know who got you pregnant. It's a whole thing.
Do you
He
think
doesn't really
if you
have
didn't
that.
have, or did you have the conversation like if you hadn't had Noe, that it was still going to be a thing?
From the beginning, he didn't really care. He said
Just wanted to have a family.
Yeah, he said very early on, I know the risks that pregnancy can impose on you.
Mhm.
And he watched me try naturally so much. And also IVF is not easy.
Yeah.
You know, you're shooting yourself up with hormones for 13 weeks. And so my surrogate had to do that as well. And he watched the mental toll that it took on me.
Mhm.
At no point did he expect for me to be the one carrying. But I'm sure obviously carrying Noe, there was a beauty in that. So I wanted to go through that experience at least once.
Right.
You know, just to know what it feels like.
So what's the process of picking
The
a
surrogate.
surrogate?
So you get these profiles, and the profiles say their BMI, their age, their weight, their diet, their family, how many kids they have if they've been a surrogate before, when they gave birth, how many weeks along they were, their relationship. It's kind of like a dating profile, really, but more extensive because you get all their health records and how active they are, who's their support system, if they're willing to work with same-sex couples or not, if they have any stance on religion. Like they really go deep into it. And for me, it was kind of a gut reaction. If I look at you, do I like you or not? Just right off the bat. And then we then have a conversation. Okay, where do you live? What's your day-to-day like? What's your day job? If you're always on your feet, I don't want you to be constantly stressed and worried. How many kids do you have? Do you have a support system? Are you in a toxic relationship or not? Because the last thing I need, are you single, right? Are you having sex with a lot of people? All of these considerations go into place. And I wanted someone who had a stable partner, is having sex with that one person,
Mhm.
has kids of their own. And you have to, as a surrogate, you have to have kids of your own, has kids of their own, has a support system, and just kind of has a well
Why do you
functioning
have to
life.
have kids of your own?
I think part of it is so that you know what it feels like when something is yours. If this is the first time you're carrying, that's a lot of hormones.
Ah.
And so you might have an unhealthy attachment to someone else's child.
That makes sense. So like the first one
And
can't
then
be the
how do you,
one that you give
yeah,
away.
and then how do you know if you have easy pregnancies? What if this is the worst pregnancy ever? What if you don't,
Yeah.
what if you don't carry well? Now you're on bed rest. Now it feels unethical that you're pregnant and that
Yeah.
you're carrying our child, all of that. So
What's the legal process? Like what's the process once like
when
will
she
you
gets
be
pregnant,
there when she gives birth?
yeah, so a lot of this is up for negotiation. And you speak to your surrogate and you find out what she wants to do, what you want to do. So you start having a conversation. And for example, my surrogate's in Atlanta. So she's typically given birth at 37 weeks. So around 37 weeks, I'm probably going to pack up and go to Atlanta and wait because I don't want to miss her giving birth. She has also had 3 kids, so it's giving my son will be born in 22 seconds. Like
Right.
that boy's about to slide out. So I go there and I wait. And the conversation that her and I had was, if they allow only 2 people in the room, who do you want those 2 to be? Do you want it to be your husband and me? Do you want it to be me and my husband? And so we decided that she would depending on how she was feeling, she would decide between the men, but that I would definitely be in the room with her. And then we started doing the paperwork with another lawyer in Georgia ahead of time. So the hospital already knows this is our child.
Mhm.
They're not about to track us down and say, "Where are you going with that baby?" As soon as baby boy is born, I'm in the room and I'm in a robe and he immediately comes onto my skin for skin to skin contact.
And do you talk about like what is going to happen afterwards? Like he's not going to have any contact or
Yeah,
what are you going to do with that?
that's something that she's open to. She said that she would love to get some pictures here and there. That really depends on who you are as a person. I formed a relationship with her. Her daughter's birthdays have come up, so I've sent gifts over. I sent her to the spa every couple of weeks. That's my friend,
Mhm.
and she's giving me this gift now. So the least you could do is send a picture once a year on a birthday.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think
But
that's
no,
fair
but
too,
but some people don't want to
but
do
is it
that.
is it like does that form an
No.
unhealthy attachment, you think?
Okay, that's fair. For some people it does, which is why some families they say once give us our baby and goodbye. We don't even want to talk to you. They don't
Right.
check on the surrogate. They don't check on how she's doing.
It's just
That
like yeah, that
feels
feels very
weird to
impersonal.
me. It feels very, I'm using your womb, but in an unethical way.
Yeah.
I think there's a way that you can do this in a kinder, more human way.
But you have like full legal
I have
protections that
full legal protections.
yeah. Like she can never come up and like
No,
claim.
because it's my embryo, right? So in
Mhm.
the contract, it already says that this embryo was created using my egg and his sperm. It's my baby. And then, the date that it was implanted in her. There's so many legal steps that you have to go through. And because my best friend is my attorney, she just kind of handled it all, didn't really bother me with it.
Yeah.
But there's so many people who have to sign off and who have to attest and say, I did this and I implanted and it is the embryo and whatever so many times. And they also provide for the surrogate therapy once a week in order to make sure that they understand what's going on and that they're
Mhm.
processing things correctly.
It's so fascinating.
It's really crazy. I'm not going to lie to you. As someone who's doing it, again, this is what I mean by I feel like the oldest child because I don't really have anyone to talk to about this as well. There's a lot of fears that I have, right? I'm a mother. What if baby boy is born and she's going through such a rush of postpartum that she feels like she wants to see him more? Or what if I don't form that attachment right away? What is it going to feel like? Am I going to compare it to the way that I had Noe and the way I felt?
Yeah.
There's all of those feelings.
Yeah. And Noe's actually still very little, so she it may not necessarily be such an adjustment for her.
Yeah, less about Noe and more about how I felt when I gave birth to Noe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Will I feel the same way? I don't know. It might be different from the articles that I've read and the friends of friends that I've talked to. They say that it takes a second for some people and that's okay.
Do you feel any sense of judgment, or have you experienced any judgment from like people that you
Yes.
care about, not like the internet?
People that I care about, no. And if they do, they're probably too scared to tell me anything.
No, but I mean, like sometimes people's families get people get even weird about IVF, which I think I'm like, can you guys make up your fucking mind?
Yeah,
You
do you
want
want us to
everybody to
have
have kids, but
children?
now nobody's supposed to do IVF. You want everybody to
Yeah.
have families, but nobody's supposed to be do a surrogate. Like everything's
Yeah.
got to be
Oh,
natural, like
natural.
Job or something.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck off.
I haven't, no one has said anything to me, but I think again, it's the way that I live my life. It's not up for discussion. I am my surrogate is pregnant. I don't really give a fuck how you feel. I'm notifying you. It's not a conversation.
Right.
I definitely don't think it was my mom's first option, but it also wasn't a thing that she had a problem with. She knows the fertility journey that I've
Yeah, it's
had.
like, do you want more grandchildren or not? Because this
In
is
a
the only
safe way,
way.
yes or not.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're prioritizing your your health and all of it too, because like
Yeah.
everyone wouldn't know. No one ever knows, and people just assume that you aren't having children because you're being selfish or because you guys haven't planned for it yet. Like people do not. You're not sharing every miscarriage that you have
Yeah.
or every failed pregnancy.
I'm not sure that I even mind women who don't have fertility issues going the surrogacy route. I have a couple of guy friends and they told me that they've been going on dates recently. And when they talk about kids, women have been saying, I don't want to carry, I want to have a surrogate. I don't really know where I stand on that issue. Telling women that they have to carry kids if they can feels very weird. But then the overuse of other people's wombs also feels a little weird to me.
Well, I don't know that it'll ever become an overuse because it's a very expensive process,
Very expensive.
and very complicated.
I
Like
guess reserved for a certain class
class
of
of
people.
people. Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the like how the C-section has become
Yes.
glamorous. Like it's
It's
a, it's a
not.
horrific surgery.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. They act
it's-
like it's very in and out.
yeah, it's not.
It's
It's
not.
not. It's in many cases a much longer road to recovery than natural birth.
Natural. Yeah.
Is there any? Obviously, you get a lot of information, but is there any like physical? Like it's totally your baby. There's no physical.
There's been some minor studies that don't have enough backing that some of the mother's DNA gets into the baby.
Mhm.
There hasn't been enough support for that. I don't think we as a society in general know enough about pregnancy.
Yeah.
What we know is very surface level. There's new information that's coming out every single day about pregnancy, the impact that it has on the woman's body, on her health, on the baby. It's recently that people have been saying that the man's health has an impact on your placenta. Like, why are we just realizing this, right?
Well, because every study is for men.
Exactly. So because our bodies have not actually been studied the way that they're supposed to be, I can't really answer without a doubt, oh no, nothing will happen, which is why you got to make sure your surrogate is a baddie. And my surrogate
This
is
is what I was getting to.
My surrogate is a baddie.
This
I don't
is
know what to
I
tell you.
was
I
getting
was never
to,
going to
'cause
pick
I know
a
you.
loser ass weirdo. She sent me a picture the other day for her daughter's birthday, and she's fine. So I mean, what is gonna get into my baby? If I wasn't gonna carry him, it was meant to be another fine woman. So I'll take it.
I knew that was going to be your answer because I know you. But did you consider like someone? Well, does she
1000%.
look like you?
No, she's Latina, which I guess in certain, if my hair
Well, nobody
looks a
looks
certain,
like you. But I'm
nobody-
saying, like, does she favor you at all?
not at all.
Okay.
She's just a cute little 5'3" Latina with
No, she
hair.
does not favor you.
Yeah.
I can, when Sahar walked in, I had my sneakers on. I was like,
Hello.
how tall are you?
I'm 6 feet without heels.
Are you 6 feet?
Yeah. So with heels, I'm
I guess
6'4".
maybe every time we hung out before, I just always had heels on because I didn't feel like you were that much taller than me. But Sahar is taller than me.
I'm very tall. I also don't appear.
Statuesque.
Thank you. I also don't appear as tall as I am, but she's hair down to her butt, big old boobs. I went for the opposite of everything that I am, but I love her. She's hot.
That's great. I knew you were going to pick a baddie though.
I couldn't. And like when I said I had gut reactions, I have to I have to aesthetically favor you're carrying my child. You know
Yeah.
what I
Also, I
mean?
don't. I don't. I mean, I'm not having children, but like, there's if you're judging, I don't care. Like, you should your child should be in if you're going to get a surrogate in every way something that you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, judging. What are you judging? I don't want an ugly surrogate. It's my surrogate.
People
I,
are going to judge you for this.
okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. It's still my surrogate. You go get you an ugly surrogate. Get your money up and get a surrogate and pick the ugliest one. I don't know what to tell you.
um, wow, it's so I've never like really had a conversation about it, and we hadn't really talked in depth about it. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for you though.
I'm really excited. I'm nervous. She has her anatomy scan in a week, which is when they check everything to make sure things are going well. But she's already 21 weeks. So time is flying. And then talk about identity crisis. I'm barely catching on to what's happening being a new mom, and then becoming a mom of two it's a lot.
Yeah, but you're taking on motherhood so
Well, I love
beautifully.
it. I was telling you that I heard you say that you never thought about being a wife and you didn't aspire to it, but I aspired to be a wife and a mom. A lot of people are taken back by the fact that I don't really want to practice the same way and I want to focus on my daughter.
Why?
When you're successful and you're educated and you're intelligent and you're good at something, taking a break to go towards mommyhood feels regressive for some people. But for me, there has never been something that I've loved enough to miss out on things with Noe, you know?
Yeah. I think that's part of the like traditional conversation that it's and I don't throw well for lack of a better term I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater
Yeah.
when it comes to feminism because so much of like the push against feminism is that it is actually anti-traditional woman and the
Right.
reality is it's not
Yeah.
it's the ability for a woman to choose
Yeah.
whatever path in the way that men have the ability to
To
choose
choose
whatever
whatever
path they
path.
want. Where I would say that some women who are on the extreme side of not feminism, but of the idea of what a woman is defined as,
Yes.
would be the women who fall into that category. And the story that I told it was that my older sister has 5 children and now she has 2 grandchildren and she always wanted to be a wife and mother. And to me, she's wildly successful because she did what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
She would be unhappy with my life, like I would be unhappy with her life.
Yeah.
But for you and in these different phases, you also have a right to change your mind. Like
And
there may have been a
I
point where you were like, this
will.
is all I'm ever gonna do.
Exactly. And I think I'm giving myself the opportunity to choose whatever I want to do every single day.
Yeah.
So if I want to stay home with my daughter and I want to focus on her and I want to capture these beautiful moments with her, I'm going to do that. If when she's 5 or 6, I feel differently and I want to get back into the workforce, I can do that. I made sure that I could do that because I went and got the degrees in order to do that, you know? So I hedged against being able to change my mind and giving myself all of the options. But right now I'm happy where I'm at. I was talking to my therapist the other day and I said, I feel like I'm not working towards anything specific and that's making me feel like I'm not doing enough. And he asked me, is there anything you want to work towards? And I said, aside from being a mom, I don't really have some big goal. But when you're a high achieving person, it feels really shitty when you're not aspiring to be the next so and so and to be on the next magazine cover. You know, I feel like I should want those things, but I just don't. And so the fact that I'm not chasing after them feels weird.
Well, there's also I totally understand that and in a lot of ways relate, even though it's obviously not in the sense of motherhood, but there are chapters in your life where even if you are aspirational, it's not about aspiring to a goal. It's
Yeah.
about existing
Yeah.
in the thing that you aspired to.
Yeah.
Like you aspired to be a wife and mother.
Yeah.
And just like you aspired to be a lawyer. And
Mhm.
once you accomplish those things, there is a chapter where you live in that level of aspiration.
Yeah.
And it's not a plateau. It's a space of something that you worked for.
Yeah.
So it's not every goal isn't like, okay, I did this thing. Now what's the next thing? Like that is a little psychotic.
I
Like,
know,
you
but
have
that's
to-
what I'm used to,
Yeah.
just being the psychotic person.
But the bigger goals, the massive goals are the ones that you're supposed to enjoy.
Yeah. And I think I'm just taking every day to enjoy this. And then taking in the little moments before he comes, and now I'm sharing my attention between two of them. You
Yeah.
know, I want to. She might not remember these moments, but her nervous system will.
Yeah.
And so that's really, really important to me. I remember so much of my childhood being fraught with fights and arguments, and I just didn't always grow up in the best loving environment. My parents intended to love me, but that didn't always transfer. And I want to give Noe something different because I chose her. I brought her into this world, so there's a responsibility that I have to her. I don't think she really has a responsibility to me. I think the responsibility is from me to her.
Yeah, I agree. I think so much of society is has failed children.
Yeah.
And this particular moment is wildly, I don't even know if it's disappointing because I don't know what expectations I had of society, but in some sort of naivete, I just at least a little bit bought into the like, yeah, we're supposed to be taking care of the kids.
We care about
Now
the
I'm
children.
like, I don't give a fuck what
Yeah.
anyone has to say about, talk to me about something else. Y'all don't
I
give a
know.
fuck about these kids.
They hate the kids. Titanic was propaganda. They would today's day and age.
Hell no.
They would have thrown
They'd
them
have tossed
motherfucking
them little
kids over.
They'd have been punting them.
And it would have been all the adults on the
It would
on the
have been
boats.
field goal practice.
They wouldn't have cared a lick about the. I posted a video, a story the other day, 2-3 weeks ago, saying I feel really bad for the Iranian people, for my people, because they're in a lose-lose situation. There was a loss being under the regime. The other choice is being bombed.
Right.
I'm not going to celebrate that. I'm not going to jump up and down because the kids are dying. And some woman took that and ran with it and created all of these videos about me saying, how come you're not mourning the children who died under the regime and you only care about the children who are being bombed by the US? And that's just the cost of war. That's just what happens. I just thought we drew the line at children.
No, we don't.
We don't care about the
We
kids.
don't give a fuck about these kids
at all.
And by we, I'm not talking about me.
Or me.
Yeah. Y'all don't give a fuck about these kids.
At all.
These birthers get on my goddamn nerves. You do not care about these children. In America, specifically, in the country that we live in,
Yeah.
children are not a priority. And that's why this whole birther movement, this whole family movement, fuck off. Y'all, these babies get sent to school with men walking around with machine guns.
Yeah.
Because we care more about people being able to have a mental breakdown and walk into a store and buy a gun than we do about kids. You don't have any fucking maternal rights after you have children.
No.
For leave. Everybody isn't in a position to just stay home and take care of their kids.
No.
Childcare is a joke. Medical bills are insane. It costs thousands of dollars to even give birth on a basic level, let alone having any kind of high level care.
But you're a crazy person if you go and get an abortion.
Yeah, you're a murderer.
You're a murderer.
Yeah, it's exhausting. We don't give a fuck about these kids, and that's part of what makes me really sad for where we are right now, because I would like to at least function in a society. When I say a society, I'm just talking about the states, because that's where I live and that's the laws and the places where I vote.
Yeah.
There are plenty of places around the country that very much around the world that very much care about
course.
children and community and family, and their laws reflect that. Nowhere is perfect, obviously, but we are fucked up. And we don't even care about education.
No.
We don't care what they're eating.
No.
We don't care about the exercise they get. We don't care about them being safe on the internet. And most of all, these motherfuckers are eating children.
That's fucking crazy. And why did we move on from that?
Well, because what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed
Honestly,
to do?
facts. What are we supposed
Who
to
am I
do?
supposed to stab? I'd love to stab someone, but I don't think I can get to them. They didn't do shit.
They didn't do shit.
They dropped those files like, you gonna read this shit, throw up, and get on with your life.
They actually moved. There's more commotion on a New York Times bestselling cookbook than it was on the Epstein files. They threw that shit down and walked away. But I mean, what can we do?
They were making baby jerky.
That's crazy. That's just so fucking crazy. Oh my God.
We don't give a fuck about these kids. It is so overwhelming to like every time I think about it and like talk about it, it is so unnerving to me that people have the audacity to go like protest at an anti-abortion protest or talk about people not having children or shame women for not having kids
It's
or
insane.
talk about how the family structure's deteriorated or women aren't back in the kitchen. They're eating children.
Literally,
Go take care of that. I don't want to hear another word about
until that's taken
anything
care of.
until you take care of that.
We don't
And
even.
it's not just like, okay, these are the elites and we can't get to them. There are like there's so many pedophiles.
So many.
Handle it.
But why would they handle it? They are the pedophiles.
But that's the thing. And
The people
this
who
is
are
what
meant to handle the.
I can't.
What
Sahar,
we
it
knew.
is so overwhelming to me
I
that
get
this is
it.
the world that we're living in.
What we knew about Law and Order, you can only imagine how we feel. We went to law school, learned about court cases, learned about Roe v. Wade, and then laws are just getting changed left and right. I don't even know what I paid everything that I did in law school for. None of the laws even apply or work anymore. Y'all taught me the wrong shit. It changed. Like, what did I pay all that money for? We don't even have good public education,
Yeah.
public school education anymore. So now there's this whole, I don't know if you saw in New York, and it's kind of the same thing in LA, trying to get your kid into a private school. It's like a 2% chance. And they called it a bloodbath, trying to get these 2-3-year-olds
You
in.
shouldn't need to
This
have a
is what I
bloodbath
mean.
to get a 3-year-old into a proper school.
Yeah, there should be good public schools that kids can go to where you know that they're safe.
No, we need to spend
They're
money
not
on
gonna
another
get.
tank, though.
They're not. We gotta get more security for the private school kids, because those are the ones whose lives matter.
All lives matter. Private school kids' lives matter. It really is crazy. It's overwhelming to me. Like, as someone who genuinely, like, I love children and I
Yeah.
love the children in my life.
Same.
And I mean, it's heartbreaking, but it's also feels very helpless.
Of
And I
course.
don't feel like people are mad enough.
I think it's what you said though. What are people gonna do about it? So much of
I
what
mean,
we.
burn this bitch to the ground. Do something.
I mean, the people
Set
who
some
are
shit on fire.
the people who are trying to are. You have to understand that when ICE was pushed out and they got to start arresting people left and right and doing whatever, and people are getting murdered left and right, and there is no justice, that kind of put everything into perspective. People are scared. I don't know about you, but I live in fear. I'm, at the end of the day, I'm an immigrant, a US citizen, motherfucker. But you know, there's always.
Oh yeah. I'm a black woman. They're not coming for me.
Do you get what I'm saying?
They're not coming for me, and I am not. My
even
cape
for real
My
here from
cape
here.
is getting dust in the corner in a box in the corner.
Yeah.
After this election, I was like, oh, I'm hanging it up. I didn't marched.
Yeah.
I didn't posted. I
You've
haven't
done it
my
all.
advocacy work, and people are not listening. So it's now consequence time. You're right. People are scared.
People are scared. No one's going into education anymore because it's expensive. Who can
Well,
afford
also you're
to,
risking your life.
this is what I mean. So you're gonna go spend all of this time and money to become a lawyer, a doctor, or surgeon. Respectfully, you can make more money as a content creator, and in this economy, people are now going down that way. No, I'm being
Well,
serious.
also you have to make content on top of being a doctor. So
This is
people
what I
go to
mean.
you.
So people are like, just cut out the degree. What's the point?
Yeah.
Do we even have plumbers anymore?
Well, no one listens to doctors anyway because you have like raw hide to chew on or whatever the new trend is.
Yeah, like
So you don't
Cottage
science
cheese.
doesn't matter anyway.
just cottage cheese and protein.
Ugh, I hate
what's
cottage
good.
cheese. Do you like cottage cheese?
No, what the fuck? Why would I like anything that looks like that?
I don't get it. It looks
For
like
me,
throw up.
No, I need things to aesthetically look good. Remember?
It looks like throw up.
No, it's disgusting, and I don't want to eat as much protein everyone is telling me to eat. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I push back on that as well.
Yeah.
I need to, but like I'm proteined out.
I can't. I will eat a steak. I love a good steak. This conversation went.
It took some real
the children.
turns.
They're eating the children too. I love a good steak.
I don't think I got to any of my questions except for the surrogacy one. We have to go back to that restaurant again and see if we get better service.
Steffi's?
We didn't need to say
Oh, my
it.
bad.
It was crazy though.
It was crazy. No, but their food is phenomenal. I recommend them to everybody. Just cut that one out.
Yeah, we'll edit that. I was just trying to remotely talk about our girl hangs.
I know.
Well, I'm very proud of you. I want
you.
you to know that. I know in lots of our chats, I don't think you doubt yourself at all. I think that all of us need a little shove every once in a while. You give me a lot of inspiration because you're always you're always speaking very strongly, and I know you're going through a lot of different things right now.
Yeah.
And you know, what's happening in the world, like, we're kind of joking about these horrible things, but it's really
No,
a
it's
real
terrible.
thing that's affecting everyone, and it has, it has real life consequences, like these
My
abstracts.
grandmother's neighborhood was bombed
Yeah.
and her neighbors were killed. These are the women that she was kikiing with for 40, 50 years, you know? And out of fear, they had to go to another city. I mean, it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
People are just dying left and right. And it's hard because what do you're just supposed to get up and just keep moving, you
And
know?
keep making content.
And literally keep making content. I'm over it.
Well, I'm so sorry that happened.
Thank you.
And I can't imagine, like, just the day-to-day anxiety that you're dealing with
Yeah,
this whole situation and this absolute madman that we're all being subjected to.
it's scary.
Yeah.
And then I understand why so many people don't want to have kids, and I feel sometimes, what am I doing bringing children into this world, you know? But hopefully I can, Noe's middle name is Riot for a reason. And I tell people that all the time. We're big Malcolm X, James Baldwin family.
Yeah.
So I hope that I raise a generation of fighters.
You will. And while I very much subscribe to that whole, I mean, they've been eating, white people have been eating kids for a long time. So that's not really new, but it's it's very scary to think that, in times in the past, they didn't have the capacity to destroy the entire world.
No.
And we now have the machines and the technology, if these fucking idiots do,
Yeah.
to do that, like to literally end civilization. And that feels more daunting. But, we get to go to beautiful restaurants and complain about the service. We get
Yes.
to pay for surrogates
Yeah.
and have prenups and, have beautiful homes, and we have great lives. And there's a blessing in that also. And I try to remember that, our ancestors went through some pretty horrific things,
Terrible.
and they had children and
Yeah.
they moved forward.
Yeah. And when people say this is the worst time we've ever lived in, this is not the worst. Maybe for you.
I mean, we have Wi-Fi. This is not the worst
This
time that
is
we've
not
ever
the
lived
worst.
in.
What are you talking about? Like, this is pretty bad, but Jim Crow, I'm just so
No,
confused.
there are worse times.
There
There
are
was
just,
there was a whole chapter,
there was a whole,
like where they were eating everybody.
yeah, everybody
Yeah.
out in the open.
Yeah. Well, not everybody. They were eating black people.
Right. In the open.
Yeah. So it is a lot. I'm trying to. I was told by my therapist I need to take a break, but I don't think I am. I'm doing a bad job.
I've been doing
Trust
that.
me, I bomb everybody with
Do you?
just absolutely berate everyone with constant horrible posts from my algorithm. They're like, you have to
No,
clean
no,
up your
no. You have to
algorithm.
get, no,
It's awful.
that's how my mom is like that. And it's radicalizing her every day. And I'm like, Mom, what are you going to do in your little hijab? Just sit down, girl. Just sit down. I had to change my algorithm. You can't consume doom every second and not have anything to do about it. You're
Yeah.
going to feel hopeless and helpless because you are, to a certain extent. How many organizations can I donate to? How many luncheons can I have? How much? All of the things that we're talking about, we keep talking to each other about it, but you don't need to convince me. I believe you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're preaching to the choir.
And we can't make it out to the people who don't agree with us. So what are we doing?
Yeah. Well, if God wants to come back from vacation and do his big one, we're ready.
Just something.
Just
Even his small one.
yeah,
Just something.
we need it's just one. If he wants to do more, I feel like he has some flexibility. You had your time in Turks, all right? Enough already. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you so much.
I've
for
loved having
me.
you.
This was great.
Amazing, and I hope everything that you talked about really helped someone. It was very informative for me.
I hope so.
I feel like I'm going to go into my next I'm not having a kid conversation with way more information.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not having a kid, and these are
And
more.
this is- and I
This is
have
how
some,
it's gonna
some
go.
surrogacy info as well. Sahar does amazing content on lots of different topics because she's a multifaceted,
Thank you.
incredibly intelligent, educated, wonderful person. But I love your content, and go and follow her at Sahar Khorram, SAHARKHORRAMM, and we'll also post it as well. It'll pop up whenever you put in Sahar.
Yeah, I don't think there's that many.
There's not that many
Sahar's
Sahars.
doing big things.
Yeah. But thank you so much for coming by. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
I love you.
Love it too.